Hey everyone, welcome to Pipes, Tobacco, and Whiskey. Today is the Tobacco Tasters episode, and we are doing Seattle Pipe Club's new cigar that they made, the Plum Pudding Special Reserve. Now, I'm not sure what to think about this going into it because I'm not a big cigar smoker. And Plum Pudding Special Reserve is my number one tobacco. Mm-hmm. That is, if I get on a deserted island, I want that one blend for me. So, not sure what to expect. We'll see how this goes as we start smoking through it. I just lit it. Mine is, both of these are Robusto sizes. It comes in two different sizes, Robusto and a Toro, which basically the Toro is just a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. $13 online, $14 for the Toro. And I punched mine. I didn't cut it or guillotine it, but so that might give us two different tasting. Now look, guys, we are not cigar aficionados, okay? I smoke cigars. The one that I smoke the most often is a Punch Grand Cru Pyramid No. 2.
I probably smoke cigars way more than you do.
Yes. So if I'm wrong on terminology or if I miss something about the description, whatever, hey, don't hold it against us. We're amateurs as far as this goes. My big thing going into this tasting episode is how close does it come to Plum Pudding Special Reserve. So, there we go. All right, a couple of things about this before we get started. First of all, these are made in Nicaragua, okay?
Okay.
And it's a jalapa binder with a Habano wrapper.
Okay.
Okay? And then a lot of the filler is that Plum Pudding Special Reserve leaf.
Special Reserve.
Yes, Plum Pudding Special Reserve leaf, okay? From my understanding, talking with Jeremy McKenna and kind of reading up on this, they went through several iterations before they got to these. I mean, it was like one thing after another that went down with this. And there's a really good article on tobaccopipes.com about these cigars if you want to read more about them. They have, in their blog section, they have a really good article about it. But basically, the first iterations that they tried with these, there just wasn't enough
of that flavor.
Of that plum pudding in there.
I know exactly what they're going for.
Yeah. And they said they could barely even taste that it was in there. So that wasn't what they were looking for. So they went back to the drawing table and kind of went through. They actually went through 3 different factories to make these. The first factory burned down before they could even get the through
cigar.
And then the second factory they went to, they weren't really happy with the results. They went to a third factory, and this is what they came up with. And from what I understand, the guys at Seattle Pipe Club, Matt Guess and his group, they really wanted a cigar that plum pudding really came through. Where Sutliff was kind of saying, I'm not sure that's what you want. That might be too much, whatever.
Well, and plum pudding itself is so different than what the flavors you get from a cigar. And most of your cigar aficionados aren't going to want the plum pudding taste.
Yeah. Well, I'm coming at this through a pipe smoker's perspective. And so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I think it opens the door for a lot more possibilities with using pipe tobacco leaf as fillers in cigars.
I think so too.
Which is pretty interesting. So another thing about these cigars was that they were really having problems with the wrapper. With the humidity level of the wrapper versus the filler, because pipe tobacco has a higher humidity than cigars do. And so they were smoking halfway through the cigar, and then the wrapper was starting to crack and everything. So that burn ratio was kind of an issue as well. So let's kind of get into this and see what we've got. First of all, I want to talk about the wrapper a little bit. You know, I really dig these wrappers that have that velvety touch to it, you know? This one does. My pyramid number 2s, my punch pyramid number 2s also have that velvety touch. And this, to me, is like a Maduro rather than just a regular leaf.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it looks like to me. And all the talk that I've heard about this, especially at the Chicago Pipe Show, was that this cigar was not intended to taste like a pipe tobacco, but to have that essence of the pipe tobacco.
And that's what they're doing. They're using good cigar leaf, but they're changing the cigar leaf to be flavored differently than what everyone else is used to when it comes to mixture levels.
Okay, so
I like this.
Let's talk about it, because I smoked a cigar earlier today just to kind of give me a sense of what I was working with. And the cigar that I smoked today was Mark Ryan's 1881, which is a Perique cigar. Okay, I wanted to taste what a kind of a pipe tobacco leaf in another cigar would be like.
Okay.
All right, so with this one already, okay, the scent of this one, when we pulled them out of the wrapper, I can't explain it. All I can say is when I was a kid, I was one of those kids that played in the dirt all the time. And it smelled like dirt to me. Earth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That wet sand kind of.
Not even sand. It was like just, that brown dirt.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. The stuff beneath the sand when you were digging to China kind of smelled. That's what I got to.
Yeah.
Very earthiness.
Real earthy. Kind of leathery also.
But it also came with that same scent of the same moisture level, where there was still a humidity to it. There was a good freshness, I think, is what I'm really looking for. Well, because when it comes to cigars specifically, just out of the package, you can smell what just got purchased and what's been sitting in a cellar or not even a cellar, what's been sitting in a box for the last couple months or something like that. And so this one, I mean, we've had it for how long? A month?
What, these cigars?
Yes.
Couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks. Yeah, see, there it goes. And they still had a good freshness to them. So somebody has paid.
I kept them in the humidor.
Yeah. Oh, well, then that's probably it, guys.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you're going to be a cigar smoker, you need some type of humidor or some type of humidor box. Something to keep them fresh. And they smelt that earthiness, that freshness to them.
Yeah. I get a leatheriness from the scent. Really, that's about it. It's an earthy, leathery. And I don't get a lot of that plum pudding scent. I brought out a jar of my plum pudding special reserve to do a comparison. And there's as far as the smell goes, there's not much of a comparison at all.
When it comes to the tin note and it comes to the smell, I mean, definitely they're not matching it per se.
I get definitely a cigar note on the scent, but that's not what's important right now. What's important is the taste. So let's get to what we are thinking about taste. Here's what I noticed right off the bat compared to the other cigars that I smoke. This is a much more mellow smoke than a lot of the cigars that I smoke. And most of the cigars I smoke are Maduros. Okay? And this is not as astringent as those are.
Yeah.
And that may be due to the pipe tobacco that's in there.
I think so too. I think because when it comes to the taste, that's when I knew. Like, smelling it at first, I was like, oh, this smells good. It didn't smell like... You know, at the time, I thought it smelled a whole lot like plum pudding. But it's been a while since I've had a bowl of plum pudding. Smelling it just now, and yeah, in comparison to what is going on with the actual smoke, it's not there. But taste-wise, they're absolutely right. The goal that they set out to do, which was they want a cigar that has an essence of
A pipe tobacco, yeah.
it's there, guys. This is a cigar that has definitely been tempered down from your normal cigar taste and has that added flavor component that pipe tobacco gives you. I will say this is the fastest I've ever gone through a cigar. And it could partially be because of the filler being partially pipe tobacco.
Yeah, it's easier to get through.
Yes.
It's easier to get through than...
Whereas normal cigars, I will have a stick that's about 6 inches long, and it'll take me a good hour to finish.
Quit bragging.
Yeah, this one, this one, I'm probably going to get through in 30 minutes, no problem.
Okay, so what are you tasting? Well, I mean, let's get down to the bare bones. What are you tasting on this? I get a lot of the essence of cigar.
Yeah.
Tastes through this. A minerally, leathery, earthy, smoky, all of those types of things, that we get from typical cigars.
Yeah.
But there's something else as well in the background. A slight sweetness that I can't describe. It's also got like hints of dark fruit in here as well. There's times I get cocoa, kind of a woody, a richness.
I'm really getting a good leathery earthiness to it. The thing that's really coming through that is totally different to me than a regular cigar smoke is I'm thinking with the plum pudding mixture that they added to it, the Latakia is coming through, and it's adding that fantastic creamy mouthfeel.
I didn't even think about that.
That creamy mouthfeel that is coming through. It is full with every draw and every exhale. It's coming through. And I have a bad habit, which, once again, please do not say anything. We are not your traditional cigar aficionados. I slightly chew. As much as I smoke. I know you're not supposed to. But I don't care. And then the taste coming through. That's where I'm getting that nuttiness. That good barbecue tang, and it's hitting the back of my mouth, and those really salivary the saliva glands. It's hitting that stuff the way it's supposed to, just like plum pudding does when I smoke a pipe tobacco. So it's playing with me a little bit, because normally on a cigar, part of the reason I chew it is because I don't inhale. But I want to get that nicotine into my system a little bit more than what I'm supposed to. This one is allowing me to really smoke it, and smoke it the way that I feel I can smoke a pipe.
That's really interesting, because I'm getting here and there hints of, I didn't think about the Latakia, but here and there I get hints of the Latakia. Yeah. I get a little bit of spiciness sometimes, a little bit of floralness sometimes. Let me take a draw and think about bread. This has a pumpernickel or a rye bread.
Rye bread. Rye bread. Right there. That little bit of spice, but that thick breadiness to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is right there. I mean, and it's just adding that perfect, to me. I don't know if this is what they were going for. it really is that step down from a full cigar. That in between. Because pipe tobacco, for me, I feel like there's a lot more leeway to it. You can smoke it, you can puff it. If you accidentally inhale it, it's not going to hurt you. You do that on a cigar, you're going to know.
I don't know. Mark Ryan, man, that guy. We spent a weekend with him out in his Perique farm in Louisiana, and there wasn't a second where he didn't have a cigar in his mouth. He fell asleep with a cigar in his mouth. He woke up in the morning with a cigar in his mouth.
Not all of us can be the men that Mark Ryan
and
is.
man, that guy, I think he inhales. I never saw smoke come out of his mouth at all. I was like, why in the hell does he do that? I don't know. Anyway.
So I will say this. I know you're not supposed to inhale with cigars. That's why I partially chew. I will say this, though. This is something in between. And it is a healthy balance in between. And I really, smoking this, am excited about the potential other blends or other rolls or other things that can be that meld between pipe tobacco and cigar. I think that world needs to exist.
What would you think of a nice Sutliff Red Virginia in the middle of this?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Oh my goodness.
Or picture that autumn evening or the maple shadows. Something that's an aromatic, but a cigar that you sit there and smoke. I think it's a stick that everybody can enjoy.
I think your purists would have a problem with that, but still, this is... I'm enjoying this cigar,
and that's where I'm coming down to it.
I am enjoying this cigar.
This is something that I really think
it's there's a vegetable taste to it as well. Everything about this so far I'm liking.
Yeah,
there's nothing that's turning me away from this cigar.
No, I'm probably going to finish the whole thing.
So, what do you think about the draw on this? What do you think? I punched it. You cut it. What do you think?
It's not. There's no resistance.
There's my draw is perfect on this. I'm not having. It's burning pretty. It's burning pretty consistently all the way down.
I was enjoying a cigar with some cigar aficionados at the Chicago Pipe Show, and that was one thing we got to talking about, like the cut and the draw when it comes down to it. And he asked why I preferred a wide V. And why some people, because he wanted to know, because I was a pipe smoker primarily, more than a cigar smoker. And it all came down to, I think that the most surface area that you can open for the draw is better. But that all comes down to the way I smoke. I smoke hot and heavy, and I smoke fast.
See, I'm just the opposite. I like that
smooth,
that conical,
concentrated.
Yeah, that conical kind of shape that allows the smoke to kind of go into one area and really get into your palate.
Not me. It doesn't matter what kind of cut it is, so long as it's a big cut. I can get the smoke through my whole mouth. Now, when it comes to the way it was rolled and the amount of pressure or feedback I'm getting from the inhale and then the exhale, man, it is perfect.
Well,
it's doing exactly what it's supposed to.
I like the cigar. I can see myself putting this in my humidor, smoking it at the Deer Lease a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe in the truck instead of smoking a pipe.
Yeah.
Smoking this.
Yeah. When we're outside clipping trees or doing stuff. Yeah.
Here's the deal. I like the draw. I like the burn ratio. I like the consistency. I wish, honestly, for me as a pipe smoker, if you're going to market this as a pipe smoker's cigar, it needs to have more of that pipe tobacco flavor in there. Yeah. And I don't get that. But still saying that, it's a good cigar.
I think it's a good cigar.
I like it. So
I think it's a good cigar, and I think it's a good cigar in the balance between those pipe smokers that are unsure of whether they like cigars or not. This is something you guys got to try.
The only downside is, for me, $13, $14 a stick is high.
That's yeah, because I can think of.
A box is going to cost you $200 and something.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I can think of several other cigars that are good cigars that are in a lower price range, but I can't. But they're full cigars. You know, you're going straight into the cigar taste. There's not going to be any middle ground. There's not going to be anything that you can relate to a pipe smoking. You're gonna cough. You're gonna have problems. I think, yeah, I'm with you on that. The only problem I have with this particular cigar is for $13 a stick. There's some Rocky Patels and some Olivas that I can think of that are the same price. That if you're a cigar smoker,
But yeah, I get where you're coming from with that. But this is kind of marketed as a pipe smoker cigar.
they need to lean more into the pipe smokers thing.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's me. They need to lean more into the pipe smokers thing of it, because as a cigar smoker, well, I'm a pipe smoker, but as a cigar enjoyer, it's just not enough into that pipe tobacco for me to think, man, I'm going to pay $13 for another stick of this.
Yeah, although it's a good stick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying it. So don't get me wrong. There's just, if I had to change anything about it, that's what I would do.
That's all I'd do too.
Yeah.
One stick is probably what, 0.8 ounces of tobacco. That's a lot of freaking tobacco for $13.
Yeah.
So we do have to equate into that idea.
Yeah, but it's one smoke.
That's the other
It's
thing.
one smoke.
Man,
this is a $13 smoke.
We're pipe smokers. We're also a little bit of like cheap, fiscally cheap.
Yes,
yeah.
cheap. Yeah. So anyway, all right. Well, guys, that's our thoughts on the Seattle Pipe Club Plum Pudding Special Reserve cigar. Hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't tried it, it's worth getting at least a stick so that you can say that you've tried it. I don't get a lot of the Latakia. It tastes more like a cigar to me, but there are some essence of the Special Reserve in there.
I think so too. I think it's more than enough to really bridge that gap. If you're interested in cigars, this is a perfect one to bridge that gap to where you can taste what base cigar flavors are. This is What
would you drink with this?
Me?
Yes. What would be your your drink for this? I know already what I'm going to drink with
You
this.
go first, because I'm mixed between two.
I am drinking Lefroy 10-year with this. That's what I'm having with
so
this.
you went to a peaty smoke as what a drink as well as I did. So I thought it's either I'm going full sweet, which is a Ezra Brooks or a Maker's Mark. What is it called? Barrel strength.
Oh, but yeah, cask strength.
Cask strength,
yeah.
Yes. Maker's Mark cask strength, which is a sweeter, more potent bourbon, or
the peaty.
Yeah. Peaty Lafroig.
Lagavulin, if you can afford it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. Whatever peat, or where are they from? The Isla. Whatever Isla Scotch you can afford.
Yeah, Port Charlotte.
That's going to be you want something really smoky or something super sweet to balance out the smoke.
Now, since we've been talking,
Yes, sir.
let's put it in our little Meerschaum cigar holders.
Oh, I can't chew it anymore. Ooh, but it adds a subtle.
Oh, I knew, yes. It mellows it out even more.
It adds such a subtleness to it.
Guys, that's all we got for this week. We hope you enjoyed this. Next week, we're going to give you some more things from the Chicago Pipe Show. Until then, don't forget,
Make all your piping moments count.
we've had a great time with this one. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.